Hello guys,
What's up guys?
And welcome back to episode number 10. Is it 10?
Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah,
10,
episode number 10. I always have to keep on checking you.
it's
a damn good job you're here,
yeah,
bro.
mate, it's a good test for me, because I'm like, yes, 10. Yes, 10.
So we're on episode number 10 of Down to the Core podcast. Today we're going to go back in again, and we're going with our listeners' questions.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, so how you keeping, Joe?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Bro, listen, I'm as well as can be. I don't complain. Nobody listens anyway. People,
I got these mics in for.
Yeah. No, I'll get like a good. I'll get a good head nod. Like, yeah, just crack on with it, man. Just keep on fighting for a real life, man.
That's cool, man.
It's all good. Right, so what we'll do, we'll just jump straight in, because as I say, like I've been really kind of overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, like in a good way, with like the response we've had with like people sending in questions and whatever, and just goes to show, like, they're out there.
They're out there, and like I said, like, to everyone who's just reaching out, thank you. It means like you don't understand how it really helps the podcast. It really helps us. So
even though it might be just our mums.
It could be just our mums.
Just our mums, yeah. So
but thank you, mums.
Thank you, mum.
Thank you very much. Yes. But like, honestly, guys, real talk, just thank you for just tuning in and even reaching out to us for questions for today's episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Really, really, really.
And as we've just mentioned, Mark, like, bro, we're sitting there and we haven't really, obviously, we haven't mentioned, it's Mother's Day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day. I want to put it on the spot. Have you done all you need to do, bro?
Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. It's Mother's Day, and I sort my stuff out already, mate.
Unlike myself, but like, let's not talk about that too much.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about discuss about that. I mean, I tell a lie. I did wake up thinking, like all the things I've got, it's the one thing that my mum really wants, the card. I woke up this morning, I went, I forgot the card. I've got everything else. I forgot the card.
Okay, yeah, I will admit, as we leave, this is me being brutally honest, so my mum does get to see this, like, I'm leaving it. So with the card that you see me turn up with today will be the one that I've got.
I mean, my mum's not getting her card. She's got her presents already.
Yeah.
She's happy about it. Ha
ha! Yeah. So happy day, mums, to all the mums out there on this glorious, wet, rainy, wet, dismal day.
Yep, on this recording day, it's wet and raining as always.
But your sons will be back home soon to bring some light into the house.
Yeah,
always. Right, so let's jump straight back into some like listeners' questions. So the next question which we had was, do influencers damage the industry? Interesting question. I don't know. So influencers are, this is just like my brutal, but they do play a part for advertising, and like, like people, like say, companies will need them and they'll use them. But I feel that sometimes there's like a blurred line between, obviously, with certain influence, and like how they probably reach where they need to reach to, and what they kind of project. Because like, I feel that like there's only going to be like a certain type of I think if you think of influencer yourself now, well, if I think of influencers myself now, like, I've got like a criteria and a picture in my head what an influencer looks like. I'm gonna give you my my version of like of an influencer.
Let's see what if it lines up. I'm intrigued to know.
Okay, so I'm thinking someone with an extremely toned and good body. Someone who's got like obviously quite a few followers. I think that's probably the criteria that you need to have up there. Someone who obviously takes lots of selfies. Someone who looks really good, like in a tight t-shirt or something. I've probably put myself on the spot here now, but like but I think there's like a criteria.
Yeah, there is a criteria.
There's a criteria, but like I don't think they set really. I don't think they don't set realistic expectations.
Yeah.
I don't think it's realistic.
Yeah, it's not really. I think like pretty much. So first of all, like what your description of an influencer, pretty much the same thing. I think influencers, there's a type for most places, like most things in life, there's a time and a place for all of them.
Yeah.
I think influencers, they encourage, inspire people to be better. So especially like, for example, gym influencers, they kind of inspire people to go, oh, I'm going to start my fitness journey because of that person. So, but anyone could be an influencer. So for me, like big influencer, my life is The Rock. The Rock is a massive influence to me. He's the one who got me into training. But I think as the years progressed, you kind of realize, like, yeah, they're the influencers, but you need to understand some of them just endorse products. And it's disheartening when you find out that the products that they endorse, they don't really use.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff they endorse, you don't really necessarily need. And I think the biggest influence, the ones I don't know about you, but the ones I've called about, that's an influencer, is they go, right guys, so if you want to use get £5 or £50 off your next purchase, just use my code and you'll get 10% discount and stuff. And it's basically their commission cut. And some of the stuff I've seen on social media, but they go, oh my god, I'm an ambassador for like my protein, and I'm like,
yeah,
you don't need half of this crap and stuff.
No, bro, you know what? And I think I'm going to be very honest. It's because I've been down that route. I've had like discount codes on the bottom of my bios, but sometimes I think as I've done it, I think when I've been doing it, I haven't felt right about it anyway.
Yeah,
and I think like obviously like, not saying that like. I could go like the next couple of months down there, and things could change around and people and so. Unless it's something that I really use and really 100% believe in.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I don't think you should be like really going down and getting people to use things that you don't really believe in.
Yeah.
I think because like a lot of the time there's not a great deal in it for people when they do like these ambassador and these ambassador roles and whatever. Don't get me wrong, it'll get you out there, and like it's going to get you exposure. And I suppose like anybody within that kind of that scene, that's what they want. They want exposure, more people to see who they are. But I feel that like sometimes like if you have got like a big following, or you have got like people like who kind of look up to you, so like, you're in like you're in a place of power, and how are you going to use that power? Are you going to be, if you've got like a level of integrity, you can be honest and say someone will, use. I don't use this, but like I suppose that kind of just defeats the object, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I think also as well, it's when like going back to like the physiques, they've got incredible physiques.
Yeah,
and you can't falter them. But I think a lot of people, that they go, I want a physique like that person, and like you do realize they get paid to look like that. They have to stay that lean or that look all year round, and it's not sustainable. And they probably have a lot more dark thoughts in their mindset, because they obviously in top tip conditions, they probably have to starve themselves for like nearly pretty much 2/3 of the year. And some of them have unrealistic bodies. Like, for example, I don't know about you, but so one of my favorite clothing brands is Gymshark. That's a big one. That's the that comes to mind. And don't get me wrong, products are brilliant. I like the layout, but most gym appeal clothes and I've seen, and you see the models, you see the physique, especially the men's, you kind of sit there and go, okay, who's on gear and who's not on gear, and I think that's the one bit people don't understand. Like some of these influencers, especially the men, they're absolutely just monsters.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like distorts people's mindset. Going, I want a physique like that, and you're like, you're never going to achieve that, because that is enhanced. That is
it's I get because it kind of it doesn't paint the correct. I don't think sometimes it doesn't create the correct picture.
Yeah,
and as you say, like it gives like people like these warped visions of how what you should look like.
What it should look like.
The one thing because as I said, like the question is like, do you think like they kind of ruin the what was the question?
Ruin the industry.
I think they, you know what? I don't know. I don't know whether you could say if they ruin. I think they're going to be part of it, but I feel that there should be more.
Held accountable? Would you say?
No. I think the word I'm looking for, I'm saying I think that they need to have more people who look like more day-to-day people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
More. Okay. So like more day-to-day people, or more people who are actually starting a level of a journey, and to watch them in real time to see, or like I think if you've got someone who showed like their real time and like we don't always have to end up looking absolutely wham and hench. You do get someone who's probably come from like a place of being really overweight, but like now they're just kind of fit and they feel good and whatever. But like because like they're not aesthetically pleasing, they might not be the ones who maybe chose as the influencer.
And I think also as well, they've got to hit a certain criteria. I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to being influencers. Like from my understanding, some influencers have been like really open about their career. They're like, and they're like, you don't. And there's a certain criteria they've got to hit. So for girls, I don't know about you, but it's literally all the fitness influencers that I follow or seen on Instagram. What's the one thing you see first thing? Ass.
So sometimes I don't even know what their faces look like.
You don't. You literally just go, whoa, what the hell? Like for us fellas, we literally go, well, what's that? And you just, but then it's the first thing. It's the bum you see, and no matter what shot, and like I don't know, understand. Like especially go, oh, it's back. Like loads of skits now have happened now, and they go, I've trained back day, guys, and
here's my bum. I've trained arms day.
That was, and I can remember there was this one girl on social media, and I literally went, "What would you actually train in?" Because all I just saw was your bum in every shot, and she goes, and it's the caption is "Come train upper body with me," and all I saw was bum, 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 and you're like, I don't think I think you need to work on an anatomy because your bum's not upper body, mate. Come on.
I tell you what, I'd be intrigued to know like how much like influence they actually have, or whether it's
that'd be interesting to know. Yeah,
as I say, it's just a question. I'll be interested to know how much influence they actually have, or how many people would actually buy after seeing them in a certain way.
Yeah, I think what it is sometimes it's like, they have, because like there's certain clothes when they see it modeled on them, they go, oh, if I like, it makes them feel, I feel a lot closer to that. I look like that person. I feel I'm one step closer. So there's other male figures that I look up to. So for example, like Ryan Terry, like certain clothes he wears, in my head, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm a bit like Ryan Terry, or I feel a bit like The Rock, or I feel like I'm just wearing their merch. Even though it's probably overpriced and the materials I can get that cheaper somewhere else, or because it's that brand, because they're the face of that product, people only buy from them. And when people just go, oh, I lost X amount of weight, or I put this amount of muscle on thanks to this product, even though it's not. So I think they do play a huge part in commission and in top of sales, because it gets them to go, oh, it gets people to go, oh, I want to, if I'm one step closer to looking like that person, one step closer to be looking similar. That makes sense. And I think as well, they give certain exercises, and I don't know about you, but certain exercises, like the one that really, really grinds my gears is you see the lads and they're like going, they're in the mirror going, how to get 6-pack with just these 4 exercises. And we all know ab exercises are pants, like in order to get.
You say we all know. I think there's a couple of us that know, but like it's no, he's talking about before where you say like if you put like you there's that space in between with people who don't know. And if you can, you can capitalize on those people. You say, and just give us take these 4 exercises from me. I'll show you how to do these, and they're all going to end up looking like this. We'll tell you nothing about your diet. We'll tell you nothing about your calories or anything else, but you're just going to end up looking like this. So
I think it's those people, the influencers. That's remember we discussed about, like, you got the fat person, skinny person, and someone in the middle. That's where the influencers are at, because they can like pigeonhole everything, going, nah, it's not because of this, it's because I've had these shakes, I've took these supplements, and when I'm using that product or wearing that brand, everyone's like, that makes sense. If I get those 3 things, I'm golden. And like you said, well, the ab, with like some exercises, they don't consider your calories. They don't consider what your limitations can do, because I've seen some ab exercises, and like, there is no way in God's heaven I'll be able to pull that off, because that looks way too ridiculous. And I'm literally going, hello, injury.
Of course. I think, you know what, as we're talking about it now, and I've just thought about this. Do you think it should be down to the people who've got the businesses or the companies, and when they get these influencers to either explain to them of, like, obviously doing things in the right way, or because, like, it's almost like there's no kind of it almost seems like there's no dialogue in between, because at the end of the day, it's like the person, this company gets their thing sold, the other person is attached to the big company, and they get to be say part of.
I think it's like the companies that like really want to promote people's well-beings. I think they allow their influencers to, like, still like big up the product, but tell them the facts, tell them the science behind like certain pre-workouts or protein shakes, or do you need to have these and stuff as well. But then there's some who will just go, I don't care, I just want money. So they'll just get a face and go, I need you to say it's because of this I've lost X amount of weight, or it's because of this I've increased my one rep max by this. Like, they don't give a toss about the person, they just want the money. And it's a shame, because you see it everywhere. You see it with certain gyms where they don't really promote the gym being a safe environment. They only care about their influencers. They just want influencers on their page. Go, look, so and so is here. Come to this gym because we've got because so and so's been on here. And you're like, okay. Talk about, like, just in general, just like people who struggle with their fitness, people who struggle with their mental health. Get influencers to chat about that, and they're like,
it's not flashy.
It's not flashy. Yeah, it's not flashy. When you like, it's like weight loss and stuff. People don't chat about, like, weight loss is very simple. Like, very plain term, eat less, move more, and certain exercises as well, where people want it flashy all the time. And it's like, the basics, they're not sexy, but they fucking work. And I think a lot of companies they know the basics work so many times, like, been proven time and time again. Just do the basics. But because they're not sexy, they just go, sod that, let's put on this ridiculous workout and go, yeah, this is going to get you shredded.
I think that they skip.
They
it's almost like they skip the struggle and just get straight to the celebration. Because, like, I'm thinking that, like, a lot of obviously and so the question is, like, do like they kind of, like, are they kind of bad for the industry? And I think, like, so as we're talking, I'm listening to you talk now, it's almost like as if they're removing the integrity.
They're removing integrity. I know they're not 100% honest, or like you only see like it's their face and body is selling the products. Like, I don't know about you, but when they do like quick easy meals, and it's always some topless guy, like clean shaven, strong jawline, visible abs, and he's like, yes, I eat this, and you're like, do you really eat that? Do you honestly? And like, I know, for example, my food will be different. That is pretty much different day in day out.
And you're right. And I'd say it's always going to be switched around and change. But like, I'm thinking whether it's like, do these influencers like hit? Do they kind of like, is there like a certain demographic that like they're always going to kind of hit? So like, if you're let's say 17, if you just left school 16, 17, and you see people who look a certain way, do you reckon like it's
I think they market like depending on the market on what the product they're selling, they've got demographics. So I think for young'uns, so like probably like 15 to probably in their 30s or their mid 20s, they'll have the young influencers there who've got the physique that youngsters want. So lads, big bulk, big chest, big arms, 6-pack, girls, big nice juicy legs, decent bum, nice back, and they like wear clothes to make them feel youthful. So like, oh, I want to look like that. I want to look like that. Then as you got older, they'll probably have, I don't know. So is there like, sounds really horrible, any older influencers?
There are some old. I think there are some older influencers, and I think like there are ones like who kind of just be very honest and very brutal. Because so like you get to a certain point in your life and you just don't really want no shit anymore. You don't want to talk about like anything which is like you want real. You don't want like all kind of flashy this, because like it's almost like you've kind of been blinded with science like pretty much like for the whole of your life, so you kind of know crap when you see it. So you want like a no nonsense approach. But it's like I don't see like a lot of those people being kind of shoved out there.
And I don't know about you, but you have to find them out.
You definitely do. It's almost like you have to kind of look for them. And unless you've got like a certain kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I say this every time. We always like to lose my words, but you've got to have a certain type of thing about you which someone's going to be drawn into. So it's almost like your shtick.
That's true.
So like unless you've got like something which is going to be really outrageous. I know we spoke about it before. Like if you talk about, let's say, someone like Eddie Abu, who's very kind of extreme with some things, he's got his thing that he uses, which kind of draws people in. But like, but ultimately, like giving people like the real information and being very honest.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think I think in general, this is my philosophy moment. So I think everyone's an influencer at some stage. Like we're all influenced by someone to do their actions. So, and I think so for the youngsters, you'll have the generic fitness influencers you see on social media. Because they're pumping a lot of crap out, but the youngsters will just eat that because they go, that's going to get me that look. I'm going to look like that. But then the people who are also as you get older, the older influencers, you have to search online and you find them, and then you stick to them and stuff. So I think so for me, like the guys who are not, I wouldn't classify the influencers, but they are influencers. So Lane Norton, probably one of the best probably nutrition dietitians I've seen on YouTube. Like he literally every Friday he puts a video about like just challenges about people's nutrition, and he puts scientific facts behind it. And but I only discovered him by just going like in a like you said, that circle of that connection that and you go, oh, I'm gonna watch him, and you go, he's actually speaking some truth. I'm going to watch him and watch more of him.
But the guys who speak the truth are the guys who, I think sometimes the people who speak the truth are the ones who get highlighted the least.
Yeah, because they're real. In my opinion, they're real, and they don't have a biased opinion. they're not zealots. They're not like, so like Eddie Abu. I forgot. I do apologise if I mispronounced his name, but like he eats one meal a day, and we've all seen him because he just shouts shit, and like to me sometimes he just reminds you of my dad, just a grumpy old man, just a grumpy old man who doesn't get, who just argues and go, I want to do this. No, it's shit, and you're like, but then he goes, eat 6 eggs a day. I'm not eating 6 eggs a day. Because to me, that shit, that sounds punishment. And then people go, but no, but like, because he's so pumped at the moment, he just reminds me of that. But then so Coach Greg from YouTube, like Greg Duche, I only discovered him because I was like, there's one video I was watching, like Athlete X, Jeff Cavalier, his video popped up, so I started watching him. Then you go, oh, I started liking him. Then you find another one. You find bodybuilding, other bodybuilding programs and stuff. Then you start finding what stuff you like, what stuff you don't like, but then you start watching their stuff. But you are right. I think the youngsters, influencers, they're in the front, they're in the forefront, so you will always see them. But then like the ones that, like the influencers who give unbiased opinions, they'll give their spin on it, but they'll just go, look, this is my opinion, but this is other opinion. So you still leave with an open mind. They're the influencers that they don't get preached about, and because they don't have this die-hard approach of my way is the only way to achieve X, Y, and Z.
So ultimately, because I think, like I said, obviously the main question is are they ruining the industry? I think, like, after listening to what you're saying and thinking about like the whole thing also, I think like they're still needed.
Yeah,
they are very much needed. But I think that like they need to be, obviously, like there need to be like more levels of honesty.
Yeah, and I think that's the case.
And as I say, like this, the companies can't, like, they can go and find an actor, but like I don't think an actor is going to have like that same kind of connection. But even so, influencers are turning into actors now.
Yeah.
So like you can't really distinguish from who's real and who's not, and whatever not.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like, if someone's got like a level of a story behind them, or somebody kind of knows a story behind someone, there's a reason why their followers will probably end up buying more of that thing.
I think, like you said, I think influence. It's a bit of a double-edged sword the way I see influencers. So then they do damage the fitness industry to a certain extent, because some of them push unrealistic expectations, but then on the flip side, they help others. There's some people who've hit an all-time low, and for them, it's kind of like it was because of that person a fire struck.
Yeah,
and
would you say it's the case of kind of weeding them out?
Yeah, I think it's just weeding them out, because there's some influencers where you can look and just go, you don't really provide any value. You just show your abs and show your bum, and that's all you do. You are nothing. You're boring. You've got nothing else to obtain for, or you say it's very quite scripted as well. Yeah, because like you can probably start seeing different, even the different influencers. You pretty much can see they're pretty much saying the same spills. They got told, have this script.
And some of them, and some of them listen to the scripts. I think they just look and do what the next person is actually is actually.
There's no like authenticity.
So like you know what? Yeah, like I think like when we first started talking about them, thinking, oh, they probably do, but like without, I think we still need them. Yeah. But I think they should be kind of regulating a little bit more to understand who's who and who's not, and who should be bestowed with like that power to tell people to drink this or eat this or do this in that way. But I suppose looking on the opposite side of it now, when we look through social media, we look at it from a very kind of it's a scroll.
Yeah.
So you look at something in a few seconds.
Yeah.
When you start moving into minutes, it's almost like, oh, this is too long. I'm bored now. So so it's almost kind of like trying to capture someone's attention, and a lot of time, unfortunately, our attentions are only going to be drawn by sometimes what is a lot of the time is crap.
Yeah.
But it's unless you're going to sit down and kind of like analyze it a little bit to know that, like, you know what, that's no good. But like it almost gets thrown into this massive pot of everything what's in there. So it's like you have to kind of
weed out the ones. Weed out the ones.
Yeah, weed out what you.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that was good. I like that. I like that.
So like so basically, answer. I don't think they're. I think there are ones that may have potential to be ruining it, or they, in their eyes, they may not even be. They'll say, "Oh, I'm not ruining nothing. I'm just doing what I'm doing because I know, like, if I sell enough of these, I can get paid for this." But like it's a shame that sometimes the person who's watching them will probably get the wrong information.
Yeah,
and probably swear by this person because, like, they're ripped and they're looking great, that's the person I should be following. And get led down the completely the wrong path. Because, like, as we all know, one tub of protein powder or one whatever you're selling at the time is not the thing which is going to ultimately change your life. And so I think it's just kind of, a lot of time it's just weeding them out. So I think just as in life, there's always going to be good and bad, but unfortunately, I would say that, like, in influencers terms, there's probably a lot more what we'd consider bad than good, and like, they're always going to be kind of. Would you agree they'd be pushed more to the forefront?
Yeah, so I would say, like, I pretty much agree with it. It's pretty much more the front of, like, there's a time and a place for them.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And like we discussed, it's a double-edged sword because some of them do provide good value.
Yeah.
And some of them do inspire others to become better.
Yeah.
But then some of them, they only give a crap of how much money I can get out of you. And like I said, some of the products they use are just poo-poo.
Yeah.
And you ask them, have you tried it? And they're like, no. And some of them are just utter rudeness when you actually meet them in person, when you meet them in life. You see them on TV or see them on social media. They're like, hi guys, what are you doing there? Yeah. And you meet them in person, and they're like the most cold-blooded bitches I've ever seen. So I swear, but it's true.
No, it's funny you should say as well, because I like to be the same as, you know what, if I like to be the same person out there as I'm, like, in front of my screen. But like I feel like there's been, cause like I've actually turned down quite a few, like, offers of things, and for one, I'm like, I just don't really believe in it, and for some, I'm like, I don't want to be part of that because I just don't know nothing about it, and like I want to tell someone something, and then they bump into me and say, "Oh, John, do you use that?" I'm like, I can't look someone in the face and go, "Yes, I really use it." Yeah. But like, I suppose that's probably the reason why sometimes they'll give you a free tub or they'll give you something free.
Free tub.
So like you'll do something, get like a small sample tub or a small tub of whatever it is, you use it, and someone will go, "Oh, do you use that?" So theoretically, they can go, "Yes, I do use it, but how many times do you use it?" "Well, I'll just use the one free one what they gave me."
Yeah.
"Are you going to buy more?"
Yeah.
Not really, because it didn't taste great.
Yeah. But that's the one. Like, is it Huel, that one?
Yeah.
Like, when they talk about, oh my god, it's so high protein and stuff, I'm like, yeah, but it's all shakes.
Yeah, with this,
it's just powder, and then and some of them are just powdered shakes. I'm like, so you're going to spend what, about a couple of pounds a month, on shakes, and they're like, and some people, but it helps me achieve my macros and stuff. I'm like, it's really.
I think, like, there's like it's.
But
there's this thing about, I was about to say this thing about, like, obviously, as we talk about, like, either promoting protein shakes or whatever it is, talk about the bits what else it kind of how it kind of gets fit into your day. I know it's in small print on the back, but nobody spends no time to read the small print on the back.
But I think it's just like they just tell you like this is going to help you X, Y, and Z, and you kind of sit there and like to some people they think they'll get hooked, line, and sinker. So I'm not gonna lie, like Huel, I see that being pumped everywhere, and that's because it's them Stephen Bartlett's company. I don't think he's well. He's got some
kind of share,
some share in it, and like there's some of the stuff I'm like, that's dog. I am not drinking that. I am not having that. And they get, and then like I don't know about you, but they have this like live reaction taste, and you're like, no, you are someone buying it. They've just told you to look like a person who's not connected to it at all, and go, so I saw the video, so I'm just gonna try it out and see what it's like. Oh my god, guys, it's so amazing. Yeah, use this code, and you're like, I don't need to know that, but like it's I think that's where there's the influences because you got some big name promoting it everywhere, and you see it everywhere, and it becomes in your head, oh, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that.
I've never seen anyone promote that alongside what they do within the rest of like their.
And I think this is the problem where
their general day. So it's like
where the way your question was asking, does it damage the industry? It's they don't chat about how they incorporate that into their everyday life. They just do snippets, so certain pain points. So people who are struggling to eat decent, good quality food throughout the day, so I use this product because it's low in calories, high in protein, or low in this. Brilliant, I'm going to do that. But then you go, well, but then this is where us trainers and coaches step in and go, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living and stuff? What do you do for life and stuff? So for someone who works in an office, maybe Huel is probably beneficial for them. But if someone's working on a construction site, they need to eat a lot more.
Yeah, it's so like it's kind of like swings around about. But like I also know, and like this is a prime example. So I spoke to a client last week, and basically, I've set him out like a plan, and it was working perfectly. And then I kind of realised that like the midsection was starting to not protrude, but I'm like something isn't right there.
Yeah.
And then we started. Then like obviously I said, well, he said, well, give me your view on what you see within like obviously the imagery. I'm like, well, everything seems to be okay. You seem to be, like you're still kind of firm up top. Everything seems to be, your back is great. Obviously your legs, everything all seems to be good, but this doesn't seem right. Can you tell me what you've been doing differently? Well, nothing really, apart from probably like scooping a little bit of extra peanut butter into my protein on the morning. I'm like, well, I didn't give you protein on the morning, but anyway. And then you'll go, well, when I'm hungry, I'll have some of these protein shakes because I've had my food. I'm saying, well, and like I think we laughed about it. Then I said, well, you do realise that like the protein shakes are okay, or whatever you're having is okay, but when you start having more than what you need, you do realise that the calories and stuff in there, it's just another meal. So if you're just drinking them down and then you're going back home to have your meal again, you can convince yourself that whatever you're having is good, because like you can say, oh, you know what, I'd rather have a protein shake than a can of Coke and a chocolate bar. But sometimes a can of Coke and a chocolate bar would probably work out better than having 2 extra protein shakes.
Yeah.
Because the level of everything within those 2 shakes can now kind of like off balance that. So like it's so in doing that for so many weeks, it kind of throws it off.
Yeah.
So where like some, obviously with going back to the influence that now, like they'll just show you, oh, this is me drinking a shake after the gym, but what do you have for your breakfast and what else do you do? How much water do you drink?
And I think this is where the question where it's the influencers are not really showing, all these brands are not really showing their day-to-day life. And I think what influencers should start doing, and I think you start to see some of them, but that's on their own separate channels, so they've got no jurisdiction of what stuff they use. But they only like do snippets of certain of people's pain points. So you see people struggling to have hitting their protein target. So by using this replacement shake, this protein shake to have in the day, boost their protein powder, something low in calories and stuff. They hear low calories, high protein, sold, but they don't talk about their day-to-day life, what they do for a living, what they do first thing in the morning, what's their routine like.
That's a big chunk.
And that's the big chunk.
How many times because I'm sure if I say to you, I'm going to give you £1 for every single time you've heard this, what's the best protein?
Oh god, yeah. Amount of times
would I be skipped by now and you'd be rich or what?
Oh, it's some of the rich people. I'd be like, probably have my own 3 houses if I had. What's the best source of protein? And you're like, well, again, what foods do you like? Because I can say for me, chicken breast, but I know some people I don't like chicken breast. Oh, okay. What do you like? What foods do you like? And so obviously, it's like the less fat, the less fatty, the higher the protein. That's slightly better, but it's what you like and what you can stomach through.
What I was saying is, like, I don't know if you got, because like I was saying with the drinks.
Oh, the protein shake. Sorry,
yeah, no, but like obviously, but that still remains as well.
Oh yeah,
but like,
that's true. What's the best protein shake?
Yeah, and like as I said, why are you concentrating on just so like right now? Somebody listening to this right now is probably going through the idea of like, I want to lose weight, I want to get fit, so I'm going to go out to the gym, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, cool, go back to the gym. But there's other bits you need to kind of obviously focus on first. So this influencer said, have this, and that's the reason why I'm getting back.
Yeah. And said, well, what's your form? This protein powder?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another one. I'm like, well, it's what you like and stuff. So obviously, you start talking about like different protein powders, but then obviously there's some dog ones which I won't touch. So pretty much any protein. So for me, any protein powders from Home Bargains and B&M I won't touch. Because they're just dirt. Like I think Home Bargains, B&M, brilliant shop, love work. I love going there to buy some stuff. But
shout out to B&M.
Yeah, massive shout out. But protein powders, nah, I am not touching them. So like me personally, I use My Protein. I've used that a lot because the one time I saw there was an offer, and I've stuck to it, and I've enjoyed the flavors.
I've used, I think for well over 10+ years, I use the same creatine and protein. For, you know what? It's probably longer than that. I used it for. It's only since like per 4am I've started.
I need to get onto there. I mean, I've got a tub of the Irish cream that one you shouted at before. Yeah. So it's in my cupboard, but I'm just going through my last batch of My Brain stuff. But
like, I didn't necessarily need an influencer to kind of sell that to me. And the funny thing, I don't really see many. I think sometimes it's like if you've got like if your product's good enough, sometimes you don't necessarily need anybody else to kind of like sell it for you.
Because you've got people chatting about it.
Because I think the majority. I remember like when I first saw it, I kept on seeing it in different gyms and places.
And
someone said to me, John, that's going to be the best tasting protein you can have. And I'll try, and I was like, okay, I suppose you're right. But I think that's going back to what we said. I think there's certain things that me and you would use, and we would say yes. But like when you ask me about it, I'm going to tell you that the whole. Don't think there's that one cup of protein shake is going to get you to where I am. It's going to be part of my day. So I will tell you that like I'll wake up in the morning and I may not eat nothing when I go and train at the gym first. And when I get back, I'll have that protein mixed with either oats or just on its own, and then I'll tell you about my other meal, which is at 1 o'clock. Then I'll tell you about something else what I might pick out in between there, and then I'll tell you about this here. But a lot of the time, people don't want to know. About those,
but I've noticed as well. Sometimes they go, they only like name drop the products they're using, like that's where the influencers. So I'm using this type of product, this like my proteins, multivitamin gummies. So for me, I've got a range of different supplements. So I'll probably say like wake up first thing in the morning, have my oats with protein powder, then I have a post workout shake after my workout. I don't really specify what brand because I don't feel like there's no necessary need for it, because it's like you said, like I'm showing you my day-to-day routine. It just happens I use that product, but I'm happy to jump ship. I have no allegiances of what product to use.
I think people are always just still, I don't know, like I said, like I think it just goes back to that thing where people are just always super intrigued to know what you use.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, if he uses that,
that's the reason why he got the results.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it's but yeah, as I said, like, I think like they all have their place.
Yeah,
they all have their place. I think they would probably just wish there was been a little bit more kind of more honesty in the way that they do things. And I think sometimes not everyone should be an influencer.
No.
I don't think just because you've got like I think there's probably people with way less followers, but like have got more integrity and can do a lot more for a person than somebody who's got loads of followers for whatever reason it is.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I say like they're the way that like they kind of train or do their day to day and whatever. It's I
think it's like I said, like we said earlier, to wrap things up, it's the double-edged sword. I think they're there when they are needed, but I think the influencers need to be there. But influencers need to expand more about show their daily routine, because like when they don't show, if they show their whole journey of what they do first thing in the morning with certain products they do, it gives the viewer a more realistic portraying. Is that sustainable for me? Is that sustainable for a long term? So I think it's a double-edged sword. They're needed, but they're not needed at the same time.
Cool.
But yeah, it's cool. Well, I think should we wrap that up as well, bro?
Yeah, man, we can.
That's good, man. Leave it there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Like I said, you can always pretty much follow the page at Down to the Core podcast. You can follow myself at jwright.pt.
And you can follow me, John Collins.
That's a lot better, bro. Yeah. But until next time, guys, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Peace.